We have to overcome the stigma that's attached to District 5. And I'm going to tell you what that stigma is. Black, uneducated, poor, and crime-ridden.
I believe there's 3 people who know your entire lifestyle. That's the barber, the beautician, and the bartender. Come on over and join me and my friends behind the bar. What's going to Behind the Bar, the road to election? Thank you guys for coming out this morning. Thank you all for coming to check us out as we talk with our candidates who are on the road to election. This morning, we have Albert Cooke. Albert Cooke is going to be speaking with us, sharing some different things about his business, his life, the various things he's been doing in the city and in the community. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Let's give it up for my friend Albert Cooke. Let's give it up. Yeah, but you know what? We don't stop there. We don't stop there. There's an old song that we used to sing back in the day that said, "Don't stop, get it, get it." We have Miss Audette Bruce. Audette and I was just having some dialogue, talking about some things. I seen that she has a son that's this dude is like, he got to be 6 feet. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. 6'5".
Yeah, 6 foot tall kid. So I know that if he's 6 foot tall in stature, what we're about to learn from her is that she's even taller. Let's give it up to my friend, Audette Bruce. Let's give it up to her. But we have this special elections. It happened under unfortunate circumstances.
Right.
So the next question is, this wasn't even planned in your life.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I agree with her 100%. My life it was easy. My business was running nice. I got everything running because I've been doing it for 22 years. I was working. I'm into plants. So I have a small orchard in my backyard. I was back there doing all that. I was like, oh, it was beautiful. And then I took this on, and this went from 50 to 150. So we have so many forums. The preparation for the forums. When you're actually at the forum, you have additional stress because you have to think about what you're going to say to these answers.
Yeah.
And then no matter how much you practice, the questions are going to be different. So you have to be able to think on your feet and get your point across. And more importantly, you got 60 seconds.
Or less.
Or less, sometimes 30
Right.
seconds. See, this is why the podcast format, I love.
Yeah.
Because we can actually talk about something so where you can make sense, because it's hard to make sense in 60 seconds. It is. It doesn't tell who you are. For example, talk about your boys. Tell us about your boys.
So I have 2 boys. One is 16 and one is 19.
Mm-hmm.
And the 19-year-old, he was like, "Oh, I want to come down and help you with the election." But he's not coming back until October 1st. So I'm like, "Babe, that's not the right timing, but so be it, bless him and just see him go." But he's the giant. He's my 6'5" kid. I still don't know where that came from in the genetic pool. Then my 16-year-old, he's the one who he's carrying a lot of weight for the election. He's going out knocking doors with me. He's coming to a lot of the forums. And though it's been interesting because it's given me an opportunity to talk with him about his political beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
They're more advanced and nuanced than I would have given credit for, because I just thought, like most 16-year-olds, you're just focused on gaming and school and well, I don't know if he's ready for that yet.
Okay.
I'm not ready for that yet. but when he's got some really defined ideas about how he thinks government should work. And I love, being able to talk with him and really have that chance to dialogue and get deeper because, 16-year-olds, it's hard.
It is.
It's hard to have real conversations.
It is. And knowing that, there's a quote, I think his name was Dr. Confucius, who stated that mothers love their sons and raise their daughters. And you have 2 sons. I have sons and daughters. So I can see that. But in that, I can see how you guys are getting intimately close on a conversation that is not often had in family structures, especially with this, with the elections and politics in general. I was just talking with a lady today, Albert, who's a business owner, a small business owner. Right. Hurricane came last year. Mm-hmm. Threw her all the way off her game, lost her business and all that. As a small business owner, I know that all these
when I went to the Capitol about 2 years ago, I was speaking with, she just won the special election Senate race, Miss Bracy up in Orlando.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Gracie Davis.
but
Yeah.
she said one thing to me. She said, Daryl, if the people that you elect into office don't have the same concerns as small businesses as you do, you got to be mindful of who you elect. She said, now I'm not telling you what partisan, if it's Republican, Democrat, NPA, Independent, what have you. You just got to make sure you got the right person who has your interests at hand. As a small business owner, what do you think about that?
We've tried religious leaders. We've tried educators. We've tried administrators, and nothing is changing in District 5 because we have to overcome the stigma that's attached to District 5. And I'm going to tell you what that stigma is. Black, uneducated, poor, and crime-ridden. Who is going to want to put a business in that area? That's why we have businesses that are, manufacturing plants that are actually coming into the area right outside us. There's a drone plant right outside our district. They're going to hire 150 people in the next 3 years. I just read online, there's another company that's coming into Oldsmar, manufacturing plant, where they're going to actually train their employees. Okay? Why aren't we getting that here? The reason why we're not getting that here is because we don't have somebody in the position who understands business. We have to go outside the box of what's been going on and start looking at things differently. So we have to find out why, who, what, where. How did that happen right outside our district and not here with us? But let me finish real quick.
Yes, please.
We have to get past that stigma. The stigma I just talked about. But we're not talking about the positive things that we have here. We have areas where we can build manufacturing plants. And more importantly, we have an anxious, hardworking, reliable workforce that has earned the right to have higher wages and great benefits. So we need to start talking about that. We need to project a positive image and the positive things that we have in our district.
Absolutely.
And we don't have time in 60 seconds to talk about this. And when I sat up on that forum, am I talking too much?
No,
All right.
we have a conversation.
Yeah. So when we were sitting in the forum, nobody's talking about business except for me.
Well, is it?
Let me finish. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nobody's not talking about business but me because nobody understands business. Nobody. If you're sitting behind a desk in a nonprofit, what do you know about business? How do you know how to market a business? Because government is business. I don't care what anybody says. It's the same thing. It works the same way. You have to understand it to deal with it.
So you guys you've put your resume of life out there and you have said, hey, listen, I want to apply for this job. And for the last several weeks, you've been interviewed for the job.
The never-ending interview.
Are you the change maker? Are you the change maker? Wow. I gotta ask you, Audette. You sat in the state representative office. You worked over there, but you saw law at a different angle. I'm not certain on what district or zone, but is that talent that you gained there? Is that experience that you gained there is going to afford you the opportunity to be that change maker?
Absolutely. Not only did I learn like who the players are, but how the system works. We need to have people coming into this role who knows how to pull the levers of government, because it's not just have a good idea and poof, it comes to pass. But you need to know how to negotiate. You need to know how and who to negotiate with to get these things done. And I'll be honest, it's not just people here in our city. We also need to know that there are folks all around the state that we have to connect with. But also, I also have come from international development is my longer term background. So in that role, I was also able to bring in, ideas from all over the globe, because we're looking at low income, not businesses in this situation, but low income countries, and how do we move them up the ladder of development? So it's the same perspective. It's just, on the more of a microcosm than the macrocosm of how things work. But I think, you were kind of alluding to it, but it's like, it's time for new ideas. It's time for people who aren't the same old, but
Yes.
who are willing to take chances and use those connections that we've gained throughout our lifetime of experience for the benefit of Tampa.
Jarvis Alameen, he's a friend of mine. He always makes a statement: "An old broom don't sweep."
Well, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Well, we have to allow the rest of the world to understand what we have here in our area. But more importantly, I've done my not a lot of research, but I was online the other day and I looked up businesses that are expanding here in Tampa. I mean, in the country itself. So Johnson and Johnson is going to invest 55 million. Now, this is from the company. It's not some fantasy that where that's coming from. They're going to invest $55 billion into the United States. They've already invested $2 billion in North Carolina in a town I never heard of. How the hell did they get that business? You see what I'm saying? So now, if I'm your councilman, I'm going to ask questions. I want to know how this happened. And then we need to get the business owners here. And I'm already doing that with the Nebraska Avenue Business Association. Bring everything together and then start making presentations outside of the box.
So that is happening. You got the Economic Development Council that monthly or quarterly, they have a meet and greet with all the new businesses that are coming into the area. However, a lot of those businesses are IT companies. That Tampa has been flooded with IT companies.
Right.
You're right. And the other week I had a meeting with Philip Morris International.
Oh, I used to work for
and
a
they're-
tobacco company.
And they're bringing in 150 jobs into over in West Shore.
Come be part of the conversation live at our next taping. And while you're at it, enjoy great food and drinks at Venue 2106. For taping dates, episode schedules, and more, visit BehindTheBarTV.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time, Behind the Bar.